Hi everyone, my name is Watcher Michael and I'll be your instructor for this class on the elements of design. And the elements of design, which I call the rule of threes, are basically the artistic concepts that serve as the fundamental building blocks for many art forms. And there's several of them, and most of them come in threes, and that's why rule of threes is applied there. But what we'll be looking at is which one is which and how to apply them. We'll begin with line, and we'll talk about what lines are and how to use lines to help us emphasize what we want to emphasize and communicate as artists. Then I'll talk about shapes, and I'll be telling you what different shapes are out there and how to apply shapes to your work and what shapes are useful for which kind of work you'll be doing. And then we'll be talking about form, and we'll be talking about what's the difference between shape and form and how to communicate form and why form is important. And then that will lead us into big, medium, and small, which is simply a way to communicate variety and give more emphasis where necessary within your artwork. And then that will lead us into overlaps, and in overlapping shapes and forms we'll be talking about what overlapping is, where it can be applied, and why that is useful as well. And that will lead us into simple versus complex, which is also another method of applying variety and communicating emphasis, and I'll be talking about what that is and how to apply that to work as well. Then we'll also talk about value control, and within value control we'll be looking at what value control is, what values are, and how to use that as well. And that will lead us into color theory, and within color theory we'll be basically looking at what color is and the most important things to remember when communicating with color, and that will lead us into edge control, and I'll be talking about the different types of edges, where they can be applied, and how that is important as well, which will then lead us into composition. I'll tell you what composition is, the different ways composition is applied, and why that's also important for your work as well. And finally, we'll put all that together and look at how the old masters did it, look at their work and learn a thing or two from how they applied these elements, and that will lead us into how the new masters did it, talk about how the new masters apply these elements and what we can learn from there by looking at several artists that are alive today. And then that will lead us right into an assignment, something just to help you remember all that we've done. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, I'll see you in the first class.